Bam. All right, everybody. Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. This is the Hat and Beard Show, and you are an attentive audience. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. That is what we love about you. Today we had a doubleheader. We got a doubleheader to cover last night in the Monday Night Football game. First on the docket, we will take a look at the Jets-Dolphins on Monday night. What we learned from Miami's 27-21 win over the New York Jets. Jets, before we then talk about the other Monday night game. A little bit more of a nail-biter over here. Broncos versus Bengals highlights score stats as Denver cruises to an easy victory. It was a 28-3 victory in what became a second-half punt fest. So we'll take a little look, not dive too much into the details. Admittedly, neither one of these games got me overly that hype. I'm not necessarily a Broncos hater per se. Not so wild about the Bengals, especially without Joe Cool running the show down there for him. You know what I'm saying? The only tie I have to the New York Jets is that deep down I am rooting for Aaron Glenn to be successful. Speaking of Aaron Glenn, Aaron Glenn erupts after Jets' sloppy loss to the Fish. Sinks record to 0-4. Quote, "It just can't happen." Glenn didn't wait until the film review to let the New York Jets know how he felt about Monday night's performance. Now, I will probably just keep beating that war drum because eventually, even a blind squirrel finds a nut and a broken clock is right. Twice a day. I had a nice little parlay built around the New York Jets. I do believe in Aaron Glenn, and unfortunately that did not pan out for me, but we'll see just kind of how it's going for him. Not the easiest path, not the easiest road to victory. Obviously, his counterpart from the Lions organization that's also in his rookie campaign having a little bit more success. Yeah, I'd like to say that the level of competition is softer, but, it's 6-1, half a dozen to the other. The Jets not doing themselves any favors. A little bit of uphill skiing for Aaron Glenn. Then we're going to take a look, guys, getting a little respect over here in the Motor City, getting a little respect nationally from sportingnews.com. NFL Power Rankings Week 5. Do experts have the Detroit Lions in the top 5 win? After top 5 win over the Browns, we will take a look over at what some writers are saying. We're not going to dive balls deep into the whole thing, but we will poke around and see what a few guys are saying about our Detroit Lions. Not necessarily the high end, the cream of the competitive crop that we beat up on Sunday. But, still a W is a W. And thanks to the Dallas Cowgirls tying with the Green Bay Packers. Guess who's sitting in the driver's seat of the NFC North? That's right. It's us. It is us, you guys. And then we will maybe take a little quick brief look. It was announced who the Super Bowl halftime show is going to be. And, there's some NFL fans that are not too pleased about it. Maybe we'll see what Benny Johnson has to say if time allows. Not going to make a big deal about it, but Benny, clickbait Benny Johnson. I don't dislike Benny Johnson, but sometimes he's a little clickbaity. See what he's got to say about things, and then we're going to do a little bitty baby bit of hometown cooking for you guys. Dan Campbell unveils why the Lions plan to play Alim McNeill in his first, or when the Lions plan to play Alim McNeill in his first game this season. McNeill could be back very soon. Maybe even next week. Let's not rush it, though, guys. Let's not rush it. We will see what the news is surrounding Alim McNeill, the hand that Dan Campbell was dealt this season. Maybe showing his cards a little bit. Big news when he announced that the Lions may start Alim's 21-day clock this week. May start. May start is not will start, but that is a good thing for us, getting a major piece of our defense back along the front seven. Going to get a lot more push and an interior leverage point of a hell of an athlete, a guy that complements what Aiden Hutchinson does. And I am absolutely terrified for what the NFC North is going to have to put up with over the next couple years. When you look at the trenches of the Detroit Lions, Tater Ratledge and Penei Sewell on the offensive side look to be monsters. Christian Mahogany, throw him in there as well. And then you tack on the defense with Aiden Hutchinson. Shout out Brent DeWitt pointing out that Aiden Hutchinson is the first Detroit Lions in stats to record 32 sacks through 4 years. That's a hell of a stat right there. Then you add in the everything. Alim, the Dream, Dancing Bear McNeill, with our guy Tyleek Williams, who's been playing great as a rookie. It's clicking up for our front seven. But and then we'll have little news that came out yesterday. The Lions believe DJ Reed. He's our cover guy. He is the thumbnail cover boy today, DJ Reed. Lions believe DJ Reed won't miss the rest of the season. That's a big thing. That is big news for the Detroit Lions. Though, maybe keep an eye on some possible pieces being brought in for some depth. Because we know from reading articles during the preseason and training camp that Motor City Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are learning from their mistakes last year, and they are almost suffering from PTSD when it comes to depth. But until we can prove to stay healthy, we need depth. And then I'm sure our girl Brandy Coffee has already seen this, but we will be walking on over to our guy Tom Grossi, checking out the every NFL fan's reaction to Week 4 and how it went down. If you guys take a look over in the chat, shout out to all the Mad Hatter Nation. We'll give you guys a good morning here in a second. We do have a poll up for you guys, and that is who's getting the number 1 overall pick. I've given you 4 options. Obviously, these could all change, but they're just 4 teams that came to the forefront of my peanut mind when I thought of it. We've got the Bengals, the Titans, the Texans, or the Jets. There are 12 votes cast already in the poll today, and so far the Jets. 42% of the vote. Nobody believes the Texans are going to end up with the number 1 overall pick, probably because of they do have ballers, and C.J. Stroud is a good quarterback in the NFL. They just need to figure out how to not just rely on him to do everything, and maybe figure out if their offensive line can put a hat on a man in some capacity and maybe block a guy. How we doing, chat? Good morning, everybody. Brent DeWitt, Mr. Detroit City. My mom, good morning. The Bengals looked so sad last night. Yeah, it wasn't even worth watching. It was just terrible. We actually watched a baking show over the Bengals game. It was that bad. Well, I'm here, Hatters. How you doing, Chase? Good morning, brother. Hopefully you're doing all right, dude. Surviving. Good to see you here, dude. Unfortunately, we got your hometown team. Not your hometown team, but the other team that your family roots for, the Cincinnati Bengals, this week on the docket, brother. So it's going to be a little negativo light shine on the Bengals, but we're not going to be too mean about it. The Bengals, yeah, it's hard to kick a team when they're so down like the Bengals, and they invested heavily in the Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase triad. And Joe Burrow, damn. There have been a lot of comparisons already drawn to him, and I would love to shout out, maybe we'll watch the video, shout out Flemlo Raps, did a great video comparing Joe Burrow to Andrew Luck. It's eerily similar, their career paths. Motown Mitch, how you doing? And if you're, who are the haters exactly, dude? How you doing, brother? WDP, I'm not happy about the halftime show. He already ruined the early 2020s for wrestling. That's what I heard some wrestling fans were a little upset about that. Not too wild about the halftime show performance. Another disturbed shooter. What in the hell? Dude, Carrie, I know, bro. I know, man. It's a fucked up world that we live in, brother. All I can say is keep your head on a swivel, arm yourself, be alert and aware of your surroundings. Did you know the financial supporters for Venezuelan dictator? Ooh, gross. No shit, Jack. That's disgusting. But the NFL is very openly communist, so of course they're going to do something like that. Morning, Lions fans. Morning, Brandy. How you doing, sister? Good to have you in the chat. Chase says, I don't claim them, but my mom does. That's hilarious. Craig, how you doing, brother? Cincinnati, in my opinion, did not invest enough in an O-line that could protect him. Yeah, dude, That's what happens when you just have bad management. They're not allocating. The Bengals just, for whatever reason, have historically been relatively okay with mediocrity. They do not invest properly. They have bad leadership. They invest in skill position players, not necessarily in the offensive line. Who was our last good offensive lineman? Andrew Whitworth? And he hasn't been there in, I mean, hell, he's been retired for half a decade at this point, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? Clary says, down, thumbs down to the halftime show. I will not be watching it. They put him in a match and had him win. He's like 140 pounds, and you're telling me he beat someone who's like 6'7", 275? Yeah, right. Exactly, dude. I know it's scripted, but I just want some... Oh, that's just it. It's like deep down, you know, we know that it's for entertainment purposes, but like, do you have to poop right in my lunchbox? Like, can't you just at least allow me to pretend and believe a little bit, but it's like they just so blatantly make it so bad. They shot up an ICE facility in Dallas. 2 agents dead. One had a... Oh, my God. Seriously? That's fucked up, dude. That's, well, you see why he classified these wackaloons as a terrorist organization, man. These lefty fucking lunatics, dude. Damn. Well, we'll try and shed a lot. Ohio just sucks, all of it. Clarice, I agree with you. I think Ohio smells like hot dog water. Every time I've been to Ohio, it just smells like hot dog water, and I don't like it. You know what I mean? It's a very unique and distinct smell, and all I can think of is it smells like just boiled hot dog water. You know what I'm saying? But we'll try and bring some levity back to your guys' life. Try and not be so negative. I'm trying to be more positive here. Sorry, had a spam call come in. All right, guys. So if you haven't already, would you kindly walk on over to that subscribe button? Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at youtube.com/The Hat and Beard Show. It is the largest, fastest growing Detroit Lions NFL content creation station, broadcasting exclusively from Grandma Studio 1 in the 10 a.m. block. If you hit all those metrics, we are numero one of one, but still number one. If you ain't first, you're last. Ain't that right, Ricky Bobby? If you guys got a minute, would you kindly share this video around with all your friends so that you can help the channel grow? It's the number one way for us to break free. I can't guarantee it. There are two things that I have pinpointed down to. We have been in a little bit of a viewership drought. YouTube doesn't really seem to be wanting to let us out of this little room again, and it's one of two things. It is either because I subscribed to the new Alex Jones channel after it was created and then deleted, and I'm pretty sure that if you find a statistical anomaly between content creators that subscribe to his new channel, I'm pretty sure you'll see a reduction in all of our views. That being said, I also do need to clean up my language a little bit. I am sorry if you guys have any young viewers that have been listening for the last week, been kind of cracking and going off the rails a little bit, saying some a little bit more vulgar things than we should, but we got to kind of wait for the timer to run out on that so that we can swear later on in the show, trying to clean it up at the beginning end of the show for you guys. But if you could also double tap that like button so we can show YouTube, hey, I like this. We like the content that the guy makes, guys. So now that we've done all that, let's get into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
Appreciate all the work, Brent. Brent posted an article down in yesterday's video about the shooter from the ICE facility. Yeah, like you say, no red flags raised. Well, that just shows you the world that we live in. So, Craig, I didn't know if you were talking about is this the shooting that happened last week where the guy just started shooting into the vans? Because I thought you meant there was another shooting on an ICE facility, but I think I'm thinking maybe that was the one that happened last week, and then the guy deleted himself because he couldn't face his own actions. I don't know, man. We live in just a wackaloon world, dude. We live in a wackaloon world. Wackaloon world. Speaking of wacky, last night the Jets and Dolphins on Monday night. What we learned from the Miami's 27-21 win over New York. Well, we did learn one thing. That is Tyreek Hill is done for the year. His knee got turned into a Jell-O pudding pop. We don't advocate or enjoy seeing guys get injured. That being said, Tyreek Hill is kind of a piece of shit. Just saying. Just saying. He beats women. You know, he's kind of a dirtbag. But you don't like to see guys get hurt, so you don't like guys to see careers end because of injury. But I'm not going to be, like, really sympathetic to Tyreek Hill. He's kind of a piece of shit. So here we go. Recap. You guys, if you paid attention, all the news, all eyes on me, all eyes were on Darren Waller as he made his triumphant return yet again to the NFL. And in big-time fashion, Waller authors memorable comeback. It has been more than a year since Darren I Am the Walrus stepped foot on an NFL field of a regular season game. It had been 708 days since Waller's last touchdown catch. Instead of simply suiting up and taking the field, Waller owned the night, at least in the end zone. Catching 2 touchdown passes from Tua, including a rather challenging contested second scoring grab to power the majority of Miami's scoring production. Waller accounted for 2 of Miami's 3 end zone trips, tacked on 1 more catch, and confirmed Miami's belief in him when he came out of retirement to play for Mike McDaniel's crew. His performance in these important moments helped the Dolphins seize a 14-point lead they were able to ride to a much-needed victory, and just might have served as a preview of how Waller could help the group for the foreseeable future. Now, forget me if I'm wrong, but when Miami was kind of firing good early on in Mike McDaniel's tenure as the Dolphins head coach, I do believe that Mike Gesicki was a pretty viable option at tight end and was relatively productive down there for them, if I'm not mistaken. Ever since he departed, you have seen a drop-off in the production out of the Miami offense, and I'm not saying that the tight end is the linchpin to it, but it clearly shows that when you have a viable option at tight end, Tua's going to go ahead and use it. Number 2, the Jets' blunders pile up. New York couldn't get out of its own way on Monday night. The Jets turned it over 3 times, starting with the Braylon Allen fumble on a play that appeared destined to finish in the end zone. That was a bit of a heartbreaker. That was a good answering drive. For an early 7-3 lead, instead, the Dolphins punched the ball out, stopped the Jets in their tracks, and promptly marched 96 yards over 15 plays, looking like the Detroit Lions, converting takeaways into touchdowns and a 10-0 lead. That was merely the beginning of the Jets' mistakes, as they fumbled again on their next possession and, facing a 10-3 deficit coming out of halftime, fumbled the opening kickoff of the second half, giving the Dolphins another great opportunity to score, which they cashed in. The Jets' operation was a mess. Their fundamentals disappeared. See 13 penalties accepted for 100. Oh, ow! Damn, dude. 13 penalties for 101 yards. That is not... 13 penalties and 3 takeaways, and you still managed to keep it relatively close. You would think with those kind of numbers, you'd be seeing a score that happened in the other Monday night game. That's 13 penalties for 101 yards. It's just grossly unacceptable at any level of football. And despite being outgained by the Dolphins by 104 yards, they only took a few brief moments of success back home with them to New York. The Jets have battled with some good teams in the first month, but Monday night was not one of those examples. Number 3, the Dolphins get back in their comfort zone. Miami's offense hasn't established a dependable level of production through the first month, but showed signs of starting to figure things out in the second half, showing in a loss to Buffalo. Those strides carried over to Monday night in a game in which Mike McDaniel finally found his rhythm as a play caller, drawing up plenty of Miami's trademark pre-snap motion and misdirection and reaping the rewards. The result was 300 yards of offense, largely efficient night for Tua Tagovailoa, a strong outing for running back Davon Achane, including an excellent touchdown run, and a wide spread of target distribution that the Dolphins will likely need going forward. Miami needs this win in the worst way, and did it in the best possible fashion, by controlling the game with a well-paced offensive attack, dominating defensively, and racking up takeaways that were missing in previous weeks. I'm not saying, but I'm saying the NFL is a league of parity, and boy, do the Detroit Lions just have this way of showing teams, keep it simple, stupid. Football is about X's and O's and execution. And what we seem to do works. I'm not saying teams exactly follow suit, but 96 yards on 15 plays, controlling the ball, having an aggressive defense, creating takeaways, and allowing your offense to just beat down your opposition. Where have we seen that before? Finally, what did we learn? Both sides suffer significant losses. The average footballer understands Tyreek Hill's importance to the Miami Dolphins' chances, and that some fans likely know how devastating Hill's knee injury was when they watched it Monday night. I was out of the room, stepped out to the kitchen to grab another beverage, walked back in, and Hat and Boobs, she just looked up, she goes, "Oh my God, his knee!" No, I was like, they showed the replay. I didn't watch the full thing. I've seen enough knee injuries. I was like, oh, that's a rubber knee right there. That thing is gross. Hill caught passes near the sideline and was punched out of bounds after gaining 10 yards, falling awkwardly on the ground to impact his leg in a gruesome bend, resulting in an ugly injury that immediately required medical attention, a stabilizer, a cart, and a trip to the hospital. It's likely that his injury, a dislocated knee, I did see article that it's tore ACL. He basically has the same injury that Tank Dell got last year. Will end a season with a significant blow to Miami's offensive ambitions. On the other sideline, the Jets were forced to confront the possibility of a knee injury for Braylon Allen, who has a leg awkwardly bent inward while being tackled. Yeah, that was pretty gruesome, too. We'll wait to see how serious his injury is, but it's certainly not good to see a player of Allen's caliber, and one who has a strong start to the night before his goal line fumble, exit with a worrisome injury, especially for a struggling club like the Jets. Seems that the Jets are just not having anything. There's sometimes it's a quarter, sometimes it's a half, sometimes it's a whole game. And then there's the rare occasion where, brother, you just don't have the dogs for the fight this year. You're going to have to go out there. You're going to have to perform. But the reality is you just don't have the guns. You just don't have the ammo. You don't have. Yeah, there's just not enough in the Jets offensively. Defensively, there's guys. Offensively, there's a few weapons, but when it comes down to it, they just don't have the game-breaking guys. When it comes down to it, I think Justin Fields is always going to be Justin Fields. All right, guys, the other Monday night game, we will briefly take a little looky-loo at the Monday night game over here. The other one, the other sister, Broncos versus Bengals, highlight scores and stat win as Denver cruises to a win. We're just going to briefly skim through this, guys. Messi, the antagonist of the 1969 Frosty the Snowman TV special. Professor Hinkle might as well have been referring to the Denver Broncos win over the Cincinnati Bumbles on Monday night. Denver came away with a 28-3 victory in what became a second-half punt fest in the later game of the Monday Night Football doubleheader. Between the 8-second mark of the second quarter and the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter, over 21 minutes of the game clock action, neither team entered its opponent's territory. The Bengals never crossed midfield after they opened the game with a field goal on their first possession. In total, 12 possessions ended in a punt, including 6 straight to open the second half. 5 of those were 12 punt-doomed possessions, were 3 and out, and they were 3 and outs. The two teams combined for 18 penalties and 137 penalty yards. See, now that makes a little bit more sense. Look at the two, Aaron Glenn, New York Jets. Pay attention to this line. The two teams combined for 18 penalties. That means 2 teams combined for 18 penalties and 137 yards. Whereas you, the New York Jets, had, 8 penalties, 11 penalties, 13 penalties for 101 yards. Come on now. Here's a look what happened Monday night. Broncos instant takeaways. This is the only thing that I want to read here. Okay, so obviously we know the Broncos. It was a slop fest. It was sloppy. It was messy. It was gross. And the reality is, I don't think anybody had any expectation that the Bengals were going to win that game. Just like the New York Jets, you don't have the dogs. You don't have the fight. You don't have the bark, and you don't have the bite. But what you do have is a team that has to go out there 18 weeks out of the regular season and put something on the field. This is kind of why they are in the poll, guys. There's the poll. Who's getting the number 1 overall pick? The Bengals, Titans, Texans, or the Jets? Still walking away with the Jets, though I do think we have similar comparisons between the Jets and the Cincinnati Bengals. Not a lot of competition there, right? You kind of expected the Broncos to cruise to victory, kind of like what we're expecting this week out of the Detroit Lions. But what I want to point out is right here. Bo Nix needs to improve on downfield throws. Bo Nix did not beat the yards after catch merchant allegations on Monday. A large majority of Nix's 326 passing yards against the Bengals came after the catch. NFL Next Gen Stats page for the quarterback showed just 4 completions out of 29, more than 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. Who have we seen play just like that in the later ends of his career? Nick's most notable missed downfield was a potential deep shot to former Oregon teammate Troy Franklin, who split the 2 deep safeties to get wide open. An underthrown ball from Nix led to a drop by Franklin on what might have been a touchdown with better placement. To his credit, Nix went flawless, 10 for 10 on pass attempts behind the line of scrimmage, and finished with 326 yards against a porous Bengals defense. Why do I point this out? Well, you're seeing, at least in my opinion, this week perfectly encapsulates the John Morton effect. Not every shot by the Detroit Lions to J-Mo was a deep throw, but we kept going deep. There were correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But did it not feel that this game, the Browns game, the Lions-Browns, did it not feel like we took more deep shots to Jameson Williams than in any other single game since he's been in Detroit and healthy? Does it not feel like we were really taking these deep shots, right? Now, I say that because last year, when John Morton was the offensive passing game coordinator for the Denver Broncos, Bo Nix was second in the NFL in deep shots. Now John Morton has gone to the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff is launching that fucker downfield. Meanwhile, Bo Nix, on the other hand, he was 10 for 10 of passes behind the line of scrimmage and is starting to be deemed the yards after catch merchant. What quarterback in the later ends of his career, simply because he couldn't, because of his shoulder, was unable to throw the deep ball and had to throw these dink and dunk passes? Drew Brees with the New Orleans Saints. And who was his head coach? Sean Payton. So that's exactly right. We're seeing a bit of a, I don't want to say regression, but Sean Payton going back to his old ways. John Morton clearly was the catalyst to Bo Nix's downfield success last year. We're seeing that now with Jared Goff routinely taking deep shots. I swear, Jared Goff in the first 4 weeks of this NFL season has taken more deep shots than any other time in his tenure with the Detroit Lions. Now, I, for one, am here for it. But this just further proves right here that John Morton is the vertical game passing game genius. Let's go. How we doing, chat? I'm not trying to ignore you guys, yo. Detainees not. Tyreek Hill beats women. Exactly, Mr. Detroit City, and that's why that's why I don't like Tyreek Hill, because he beats up on women. Because like my sister still root for the guy and think he's cute, but not me. Yeah, he's a exactly, dude. Tyreek Hill's a scumbag. Exactly, he's a scumbag. So we're not going to rejoice over his misfortune, but we're not going to give him a tremendous amount of sympathy because he's a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Rooting for AG to succeed, says Brent, but he's got a lot of work ahead of him. Turning around the Jets isn't going to be quick or easy. Exactly, it's turning a boat versus turning a ship. Big ship turns slow. Quote Aaron Glenn, big ship turns slow. Jack, 21-25. I had a feeling Hill thinks his career is over the way he was behaving when he was leaving the field. 31-year-old, complete rebuild of the knee. He may not be right. Well, just look at how long has Tank Dell been able to come back? And Tank Dell is significantly younger than Tyreek Hill. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is a 1% global athlete. I can't take away, as much of a scumbag as he is, and it seems to be that way, that for an exchange of hyper athleticism, you become a dirtbag. But he is a world-class athlete. That cannot be denied. Okay, was at one point the fastest man in the NFL. So the ability to rehab and come back does exist for Tyreek Hill. The ability to rehab and come back at 31 years old, when you are already transitioning away from the speed game into a possession wide receiver, is that something at this point do you want to do? Does he want to go through all of that? Or, does he do the smart thing and hop away from the game while he can still hop away from the game? You know what I'm saying? AG needs first overall pick to get QB. Fields is not the answer. Preach, Jack. That's, I kind of had hoped that maybe Justin Fields could be a little gadget guy for Aaron Glenn. Obviously, he's going to be your bridge quarterback. He wasn't the solution, but I kind of thought maybe he would be able to do something for Aaron Glenn. He's clearly not the answer. But the problem with bringing in a rookie, though, is that you then have all these rookie growing pains. And how open is the Jets front office to a long-term rebuild? How long of a leash and what is the timeline that the front office has for Aaron Glenn and the Jets, Jets. Still going to with the Bears. However, Peckers could prove me wrong. You go for the first overall pick, Motown. I like where you're at, bro. I like where you're at. Felt that way. What's up, Chase? I don't understand. I don't mean to be a dick, dude. I don't understand the felt that way, brother. You gotta give me context, dude. I hope you're feeling all right, dude. Weren't even good opportunities either for JMO. I know, dude. Well, Jack, I say all these deep shots to JMO. One was a free play, one was Goff grossly underthrew it because Myles Garrett hit him and it got picked off, but it did feel like oh, you're talking felt that way about the deep shots to JMO. Gotcha. Oh, about the passes to JMO. Hell yeah, bro. As you were turning on that light bulb, you were flipping the switch as my light bulb was coming on, dude. Fuck yeah. It felt like we just kept rocketing it out to JMO, which, I mean, it's if it hits, it hits. But when it's not hitting, it's just like, come on, man. I need 3 more fucking yards out of you. Catch the goddamn ball, JMO. Final stop on our national news media circuit here. Aaron Glenn erupts after Jets' sloppy loss to the Dolphins. Sinks record to 0-4. Quote, it just can't happen. There's our boy. Look what you did to my boy. Look what they did to my boy. Aaron Glenn, my boy. Aaron Glenn didn't wait until the film review of the New York Jets to let the New York Jets know how he felt about Monday night's performance. The first-year coach reportedly unloaded on his players after the 27-21 loss to the Miami Dolphins, delivering a fiery locker room tirade that was loud enough to be heard in the nearby media room. The outburst capped another frustrating night after the Jets, who dropped to 0-4 for the first time since 2020. Glenn's anger was fueled by a sloppy performance that included 3 turnovers, 13 penalties, and yet another week without a defensive takeaway. Very disappointing, Glenn said postgame. There's no way you can win a game with 13 penalties and 3 turnovers. It just can't happen. The lack of discipline carried over to the line of scrimmage, where the Jets were flagged 13 times for 101 yards, including 9 on offense. Jeez, 5 of them were before the snap. Holy shit, that's bad. And unfortunately, that reflects directly on the coaching. Aaron Glenn, you're not coach. Aaron Glenn, the guys aren't there on the team. Okay, everybody knows that the Jets don't have the guns. They don't have the dogs. They don't have the dogs to fight. But if you're committing 5 pre-snap penalties of your 13 penalties and 9 of them are on offense, 9 of your 13 are on offense and 5 are pre-snap, that is a direct reflection of bad coaching, bad discipline, and no accountability. The Jets wide receiver Garrett Wilson said Glenn's postgame message centered around the penalties and self-inflicted wounds that continue to stall New York's progress. It was obvious, but it still has to be said because we're still not doing it right, Wilson said. We're talking about it, and we're talking about it. Limiting penalties is the first thing we talk about when we get in the locker room. So let's fix it next week. If we don't fix it next week, it's ridiculous. The Jets rank among the league's sloppiest teams, sitting 10th in penalty assessed this season. They're also the NFL's only defense without a takeaway and owns a -7 turnover margin, the worst in the league. That is absolutely terrible. We've got to get back to work, Glenn said. That's the only way we can fix this. Really, take a look at those penalties and take a look at these turnovers and make sure we understand. Before you can win games, you have to learn how to not lose games. And we have to do a better job in that case. And we will. Next up, the Dallas Cowgirls at MetLife Stadium, where Glenn will try avoiding becoming the first coach in franchise history to start his tenure. 0-5. Yikes, in Dallas. Yeah. Not a big Dallas guy. Not too wild about Dakota Rain Prescott, but I have to say, oh boy. You better be ready for a boat race, AG. Brother, that's all I got to say. Historically, you couldn't stop Dak with the Lions defense. You're probably not going to stop Dak despite not having CeeDee Lamb. Looking at how they performed against the Green Bay Packers Sunday night, you're going to have your hands full trying to stop him on defense. You better be ready for a boat race. You better play the cleanest game your team has ever played. You cannot have any imperfection because you don't have the dogs to fight with the Dallas Cowgirls. They're not a good team, but they have a better, more volatile offense. There are more weapons. They are better across the board at every position outside of Garrett Wilson. Your defense is better than their defense. I will give you that, but your defense is not great. Dallas has shown that they can pile up points. You have to do one of two things. You either have to play bully ball and just sit on the rock, or since your offense can't seem to get out of its own way, your best option is to yo-ho, boat race, you go. Hopefully the Jets can triumphantly come out and Aaron Glenn can avoid becoming 0-5. I'll admit, guys, I'm going to be putting money on the Jets. I'm a New York Jets, I'm an Aaron Glenn guy, dude. I'm rooting for him. I want success for him. So we're going to be putting some money on the Jets. Jets. Dax, your hero this week, says Motown. Is he your fantasy guy, or is it because he tied with the Packers? I had to root. I was rooting for the Cowgirls, guys. I was rooting for the Cowgirls to win. I put money on the Packers, though, because I was trying to follow the smart money. But obviously, nobody ended up really winning much money if you just picked a winner of that game. But deep down, I was rooting for the Cowgirls to beat the Packers on Sunday, this last Sunday night. Excuse me. All right, y'all. Going to head into a little hometown cooking news here. If you haven't already, would you kindly subscribe to the channel if you're new here? Ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at youtube.com, as well as pregame shows. Every time there's a Lions pregame, or every time there's a Lions game, you can catch us about an hour and a half before the game, making bets and talking trash, as well as liking the video and sharing this around with all your friends. It's the number one way to get this content out there and break free of the shackles of the little room that YouTube keeps me confined in. Over here at Sporting News, NFL Power Rankings, Week 5. Do experts have the Detroit Lions in top 5 after win over the Brown Eyes? Let's go ahead and take a look here. NFL Power Rankings, Week 5. First on the list, you see here, they got us, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. All right. On Sunday night, the Green Bay Packers. Oh, that's blah, blah, blah. No one cares. Sunday night, the Packers couldn't handle business with the Dallas Cowgirls and instead finished with a 40-40 tie in a game that went to overtime. Now Green Bay is looking up at the Lions in the division, and it feels good to be on top. As we turn the page to Week 5, here's a look at what experts are putting the Lions in their NFL Power Rankings. NFL Power Rankings Week 5. First up, Sporting News has Vinny Iyer. Iyer says, quote, the Lions got confidence on the road by ripping the Ravens and kept up the balanced, explosive momentum at home with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. The defense and special teams coming alive to burn the Browns was good to see. He's got us +2 all the way up to number 5. Matt J. Johnson from Sportsnaut. Johnson says, quote, the Detroit Lions did what the Packers couldn't versus Cleveland. Protect the quarterback. It made all the difference and allowed the Lions' offense to get into a bit more of a rhythm, especially with the short field created by takeaways. While the Lions have 2 upcoming road games versus Cincinnati and Kansas City, both are very winnable, and the organization has to feel so much more confident in the team as Super Bowl contender than it did a few weeks ago. He's got us up 3 to number 3. Taylor Worth, NBC Sports, one of the big guns. Worth says Amon-Ra St. Brown, through 4 weeks, is on pace for 25 touchdowns this season. Is that sustainable? He says no. I say yes. But it shows just how elite Detroit's offense still is. He's got us up 1 all the way to number 3. And then finally, you guys just don't want to make it easy for me. Sayer? Syrie Bettinger, NFL Spin Zone, has us staying at number 2. Detroit has so many ways they can beat you offensively, and while we've seen they are not exempt from the occasional clunker, hey, you can't use that word, on that side of the ball, it's hard to see them losing too many games this year with the level at which the offense currently operates. So you can see we're getting a lot of our lowest ranking was from Sporting News. Actually, the article that we're reading, the company that we're reading, has us ranked at the lowest at number 5, but everybody else has us inside the top 5. Most of us have us just hovering outside the top 3 at number 3. So that's a good thing to see. Obviously, the cream of the crop is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills. But Detroit, I called for a Detroit Bills Super Bowl this year, you guys. And so far, it could still happen. It's looking like it might happen. There's a better chance of it happening than not. Call me Hatstradamus. Let's go, you guys. How we doing, chat? F the Cowgirls, Dax, my hero. Hell no, no fantasy for me. My fantasy is Peckers losing, but a tie works too. Hell yeah, Motown. Well, what's funny is Hat and Boobs, she fell asleep on the couch during the game and then woke up and she looked at it and she was like, I hope that neither one of these teams win, and then went to bed. She just goes, I hope neither one of these teams win, and went to bed. And, well, she got what she wanted. Got a nice tie out of it, and that was beneficial for the Lions. So some good news, guys, some good news. Despite all of the doom and gloom around the injuries, Marcus Davenport on the short-term IR, DJ Reed we'll talk about in a minute, Terrion Arnold's shoulder, obviously early on in training camp, Levi Onwuzurike, Josh Paschal, you name it, we're dinged up. A little bit. Not as bad as we were last year, though, thankfully. Knock on all the wood. Knock on all the wood. But we do have some good news. You guys might not know this, but I myself am a big old Alim McNeill fan. I'm a big old Alim McNeill fan. I really like Alim McNeill. I think he is... Okay, I think Alim McNeill is underrated for the respect that he is given. Even though he is still respected and considered to be one of the better defensive tackles in the NFL, I think that the respect that he is given is not due enough. I think he is due more respect. I really do think Alim McNeill has the ability to be a game-wrecking defensive tackle. And he is a perfect interior complementary piece to Aiden Hutchinson. I'm telling you guys, Tyreek and Alim are going to be a massive problem for the NFC North, let alone the NFL, for many, many years to come. We have what appears to be 3 rock-solid, very young pieces on our front 4. Yes, we all want that complementary edge piece. I'm telling you guys, though, give him some more weeks. He's coming around. He's coming around. Tyler Lacey's coming around. But let's talk about our boy, the Dancing Bear, Alim, the Dream, McNeill. Dan Campbell unveils when the Lions plan to play Alim McNeill in his first game this season. McNeill could be back very soon, maybe even next week. This coming from Mike Payton, Lions beat writer over at one of our favorite outlets. I love A to Z Sports. Look how I like A to Z Sports. Their articles aren't real long and full of bullshit. They're a little bit more punchy and a little bit more fun to read, and they're not long-winded and they're not all full of themselves. On Monday, the Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell dropped some big news when he said the Lions may start Alim McNeill's 20-win-day clock this week. Campbell then went on 97.1 The Ticket on Tuesday morning and doubled down on what seemed even more, on that, and seemed even more sure about the idea that McNeill could be returning this week. Now the big question is, when will the Lions have him suit up? Campbell alluded to that plan here. The Lions would like to have McNeill play before their Week 8 bye. I think we're going to see if we can do that, Campbell said on Tuesday when asked if McNeill could play before the bye. Really, so much of it is about what does he look like? How does he feel? I think it would be nice to see. I think it'd be nice if we could, or nice to see if we could. But we're not gonna, say for all right, this is when you're playing. There's no doubt about it. Let's just see where he's at. Just real quick, this just sounds really kind of gay if you just read this line out of context. What does he look like? Ooh, how does he feel? You're going to look him over and they're going to put their little dirty little dick beaters on him and feel how it's out of context. It sounds a little homoerotic. It's 21-day clock. If the Lions start that clock on Wednesday and they take it all the way to day 21, that takes them to the day after their Week 7 game against the Tampa, Bay, Buccaneers. It's hard to see the Lions doing that if they feel he's 94.6% ready to go. Those were the numbers that McNeill used, by the way. He told Campbell that when the team feels he's 94.6% ready, it's time to put him back in. They must feel that way now. So we'll see what the game plan is to put him back for sure. This Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals is probably not the one, but never say never, I suppose. Next week, the Lions take on the Chefs, and then they have the Monday night game against the Bucs. If I'm on the Lions and I feel he's ready, I'm dropping him in against the Chefs and having him return in a big spot on Sunday Night Football. By the way, getting McNeill back would do such a big addition to this defensive line that is already wreaking a little bit of havoc right now. This team has put up 75 pressures and 15 sacks in just 4 games of the year. 7 of them coming against one team. Pump the brakes there, mi amigo. Hold up. Wait for all my homies that'll be playing this song. Hold up. 7 of those 15 sacks came in one game. So it's not like we're just like pounding everybody 4 sacks a game. It's a little misleading there. That's with rookie Tyleik Williams in the middle. With McNeill taking that spot, this line becomes even more dangerous because McNeill can pass the rusher too. So can Tyleik. That's Tyleik is doing a pretty good job of putting pressure on the quarterback. Tyleik doing a pretty good job putting pressure on the quarterback. Tyleik put hand up in face. Tyleik slap ball down. Tyleik do good job. Bullshit. We'll see what happens soon enough, but it sounds like the plan to get him back in before the bye, and I am ready to see that lineup. I'm ready to see that Ferrari package, that fucking young gun package of Tyler Lacey, Tyleik Williams, Aiden Hutchinson, and Alim, the dancing bear, the dream McNeill. Oh, Jordan Love is shitting in his pants right now. Jordan Love and Kate. Look, right now, I'm not going to pile on Jordan Love. Jordan Love is at least a little bit more experienced and a little bit more of a veteran. But right now, I'm pretty sure that J.J. McCarthy and Giggle Williams are calling Jordan Love saying, oh, my God, Alim's coming back. I'm so scared. Can you please come change our diaper? And Jordan's like, I have to change my diaper first because you have to secure your own oxygen mask before you can help those around you. Let me change my diaper that I just shit in before I come and change your diapers that you guys are shitting in. Because they're all scared shitless. They're all scared shitless of what's really going to be happening. Told you AG and the Jets are going to suck. You did, Sam. You did. Where's the lie? There is no lie there, dude. You did nail that. You did say that AG and the Jets were going to suck wind. I believe you actually said that Ben Johnson was going to have a much better path to victory than Aaron Glenn. And though I don't think you were wrong. I probably tried to argue against it simply because I'm an Aaron Glenn stan, and I fucking cannot stand Ben Johnson. He's a douche nozzle. Aleem Reeder Williams on our O-line or on our D-line is going to be fun to watch. Serious beef, dude. Yeah, that is. What is that like? Almost 1,000 pounds of man just in those 3 guys. Whew. That's a lot of mass in the middle that you can rotate around. And let's not forget, now with Alim, when Alim comes back, then you have a nice rotation of a big and a rusher, right? You got DJ Reader and Alim the Dream McNeill, which you can then rotate out and have Tyleik Williams come in for Alim and Roy Lopez come in for DJ Reader. It's this nice, just constant rotation of guys who can do similar things, keeping the legs fresh, being able to grind on an offensive line, impose your will. It'll be a good thing to be getting Alim McNeill back. It adds a nice piece to our defense, and then it allows what has already been a good piece in Tyleik Williams to become an even better, more impactful piece because he's being allowed to be brought in very specific roles, not necessarily having to shoulder the whole load. That being said, Tyleik Williams, I think, has done a phenomenal job in his rookie campaign, shouldering the load. Finally, guys, our last story of the day, going to try and finish on a good note. The Lions believe DJ Reed, hamstring, won't miss rest of season. Let's see here. Allen Park, Detroit Lions Dan Campbell says he doesn't feel as if DJ Reed will be lost for the season, despite the cornerback being carted off the field with a hamstring injury in Sunday's win over the Cleveland Brown Eyes. Reed was injured during a fourth quarter play while while attempting to tackle Browns receiver Jerry Jeudy on a deep play that Lowe's left incomplete. Sorry, I was clicking around on screen. He's going to be down a while, but the good news is not a season ender. Campbell said of Reed, "We will get him back, it looks like." So that's the good news. He's a stud, and he's been playing really, really well. Reed also intercepted a short left pass from Browns quarterback Joe Flacco that was intended for Jeudy during the second quarter. And Campbell was impressed by his attempt to make the play even after being hurt. Reed also made 4 tackles. Yeah, that was the thing. That's the small things that our guys do. DJ Reed, Aiden Hutchinson against the Cowboys. Amidst having now their adrenaline is spiked, so the pain has been nulled to an extent because their adrenaline is so high, but their system is still signaling catastrophic failure, structural damage, catastrophic failure, right? Danger, Will Robinson, right? And yet our guys play so hard and are so committed to what they do that they're still trying to make the play, even while having catastrophic failures, injury along the way, still selling out. That is the mark of fucking hard running Jesse right there, guys. Campbell said Reed could be a candidate for the injured reserve list, which would sideline him for at least 4 games, but that has yet to be determined. Could be. It'll be close, I think. Could be in that range, said Dan Campbell. Lions quarterback Terry Arnold also exited the Browns game during the second half with a shoulder injury, but Campbell feels as if his injury wasn't as severe and could return soon. I don't think this is a huge thing, but the question is if he'll be ready for this week, Campbell said of Arnold. That would be really the question, and if he's not this week, we should be back by next week for sure. So hopefully, it would be nice to have Terry and Arnold. We are going up against 2 high-end wide receivers, but, you can have a really nice car. You can have 2 really nice cars sitting in your garage. But when your garage is in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the engines for your cars are Joe Burrow and it's on the shelf, car not going to go. Car no go fast. And if the line... Jesus Christ, this game could get really out of hand really fast for Cleveland or Cincinnati. It could get really out of hand really fast. The Lions, they have 2 options. Everybody's expecting a victory, okay? But David can slay Goliath. We are going to just live in the boat of the Lions are going to trounce the Cincinnati Bengals. And how do we want to do that? Do we want to play with them? Do we want to do long, drawn-out drives, put up 21, 24 points in the first half, just kind of batting around our food? Or do we just crush them? Do we just roll into Cincinnati and just mash on the gas and leave your ass in the past? You know what I'm saying? Like, what options do you want to go? Because they don't have the defense to hang with our offense. And without Joe Burrow, their offense clearly can't put up any points, let alone enough points to hang with our offense on our bad days. Hell, even if we rolled out the team that we lost with the Packers week 1, I still think we trounced the Cincinnati Bengals this week. No mercy, says Chase. I'm with you on that, dude. I really think that no mercy is the way to go. I said it last week, and I was proven to be truthful. So I again will make this prediction and expectation. I want to see the Lions, no mercy, take care of the Cincinnati Bengals so hard that, again, we finish the game behind the 8 ball with Giovanni Manu playing left tackle and Kyle Allen kneeling out the clock. That's what I want to see. I want to see the 8 ball roll out to finish the game in the victory formation, and I want to see Manu continue to get garbage time scrap reps as we just cruise control, mash on the gas, leave your ass in the pass, hitting your hazard lights as the checkered lane pass. You know what I'm saying? Denzel Vance, we dropping 60 on the Bengals. What's up, Denzel? Good morning. Good to see you, brother. Honestly, a 60 burger sounds nuts, doesn't it? It sounds nuts. until you look at what our offense is capable of doing and the overall lack of defense that the Cincinnati Bengals have. On top of, you should expect to have significantly more possession since the Bengals are just capped in 3 and out. They have no offense. Their offense has no teeth. Hell, their offense doesn't even have gums. You know what I'm saying? Someone was slamming me when Burrow went down. I said Bengals are toast without Burrow. Guess I was right. Brent, you are correct, dude. Joe Burrow, that was I think we said it after T. Higgins signed that big contract. I think we had a show about it where it was like, okay, guys, this is going to be an experiment for the Cincinnati Bengals. They are going to invest so much capital into 3 players that if one of those triad goes down, it's going to cripple you. That was my prediction, and that's exactly what's happening, is that you invested poorly. You do not have the weapons to play outside of those 3 guys. And if Joe Burrow, literally the most important piece of without Joe Burrow, the other 2 pieces of the triad are limited in their production. Joe Burrow was the most crucial piece of that triad, and he went down. And he went down with a fucked up dude, turf toe, like he either strained or I don't know what degree it is, but if it's a grade 3 turf toe, basically if this is your big toe, it has to deal with the tendons that run under your fucking toe. So being able to do this with your big toe is essentially impossible. Like you can't really like propel yourself. Try when you're walking around barefoot, just see how important that big toe is to direction and stuff. Chase says my mom kissed the season away once Burrow got injured. That's fair, dude. I think anybody who really knew what was going on kind of understands that Joe Burrow is a main cog in that offensive wheel for the Cincinnati Bengals. So, shout out. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but we're going to go ahead and watch every NFL fan's reaction to Week 4, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but Brandy Coffee, you've already seen this. You going to stick around and watch it again with me, though, sister? All right, guys, so here, we're going to finish the day off. We're not going to watch the Benny Johnson thing. I have to pee really bad, and we're running into the hour mark, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We're going to watch Tom Grossi. You guys know Tom Grossi. Look, Tom Grossi finally eclipsed 900,000 subscribers. Guys, if you haven't, go over and subscribe. Go over and subscribe to Tom Grossi. Get this guy the 1,000,000 sub mark. Chaotic good, dude. Tom Grossi. So we're going to go ahead and watch. She says, yes, I have. I knew it. Got to head to a meeting. Later, Hatters. Chase, crush it in your meeting, brother. Go plop your nuts on the table and tell them I need 10% more. You do your thing, dude. You do your thing, Chase. Appreciate you hanging out, brother. Have a good day, bro. Seriously. Have a good day, man. We'll talk to you later, brother. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and watch Tom Grossi.
Our defense looked good. Aaron Rodgers was efficient. We actually had a run game. Oh, no.
Can you guys hear it, by the way? Let me know if you can hear it. I don't know if the audio is working or not. Again, we've been having some issues. Oh, thanks, Mr. Detroit City. Thanks, dude. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. I've thought about trying to do skits like his. I'm not a good writer. I'm not a good writer.
Oh, I'm gonna say it. Steelers got a super. I thought Carson Wentz being a redhead would give us a boost in Ireland, but turns out you still need an offensive line regardless of what country you play in. Drake May was phenomenal. The Patriots, we scored 40 points. Us, we actually did that. I'm pretty sure that's more than we scored all season last year. Why do I even watch this sport?
You hear his nasally voice.
What a team win, man. I mean, I got to shout out our wide receivers. Puka Nacua is the best receiver in the NFL right now. Devontae Adams having a touchdown yesterday. And, of course, our MVP, A.D. Mitchell. Well, we won our first game of the season and shut out the Titans, so that's good. We also traded with the Cleveland Browns. Don't worry, Browns. I'm sure this trade will work out better this time. Well, we took Callahan off of play calling, and we scored 0 points this week. So, that's how things are going. Did you feel that, NFL? The cold shiver run down
That's
your
really nice
spine?
of you to say, sister. I do appreciate that. Really, I do. I really do. That's
Chiefs are
really
back.
nice of you to say.
I can't believe we lost to the... You know, I wish somebody told you were in the good old days while you were still in them. Like weeks 1 and 2. I have never been so happy and yet so unsatisfied in my life. Because usually as a Cowboys fan, I'm sad and unsatisfied, so this is new for me. We lost to the Giants and Joe Alt is hurt. Yeah, I think Harbaugh is going to burn MetLife to the ground. Jackson Dart gets his first win as a New York Giant and we beat the Chargers. Now, if you don't mind me, I'm going to go cry to some State Farm commercials. Oh, Malik Neighbors, I wish you were there. The Packers can't beat the Cowboys. We easily beat the Cleveland Browns. And we're back on top of the NFC North. I like football again.
Feels
I
good.
just want a quarterback, man. Bears win back-to-back games for the first time in like a year. The Packers tie. Thank you, DePope. Thank you. Genty has his breakout game. The defense plays incredibly well, and we still lose because Geno Smith throws 3 interceptions. You sure Seattle doesn't want him back?
I got you, Brandy.
Nah, we're good. He's all yours. But seriously, I also think we're good this year.
I got you, sister.
I, for one, hate the new kicking rules.
Power approved.
And I also hate our offensive coordinator. And our entire offense. Except Trey McBride. Can we please play 2 halves of football? Please! Also, somebody get A.J. Brown off social media. Well, the first half of that game was terrible, but the second half... And honestly, it was just nice to see Tristan Wirfs and Chris Godwin again.
You do so much work for me.
It's the end of September, and I
you do
have
so
no
much fucking
idea
heavy
if we're
lifting
good
for
or
me.
not.
Why not?
So,
Like I said, you just bring in a ton of viewers.
You
so,
and me
yeah,
both.
Fuck yeah. I don't know
wouldn't
why I
it
didn't
be
do it
great
earlier,
to
to
have
be
an
honest with you.
offensive line that actually blocked?
You have all the power.
No, but seriously, where's our offensive
One
line?
ring to
Yeah,
rule
keep
them
my
all.
coach's name out your mouth. Sorry.
One brandy to rule them all.
It's just been a minute since we won a few games. Forgot what it felt like. Was it pretty? No, but we're undefeated, so I'm fine with that. Well, we're definitely not good, but we're also not bad. So, average? Did you see the refs in this game? Absolutely ridiculous. I'll have you know that we are more than capable of losing a game ourselves. Well, we won, so that's good. Usually this team makes me regret having eyes. Though seeing the Tyreek Hill injury made me regret having eyes.
Yeah,
A stress-free game that didn't end with a game-winning field goal? I loved this game. Our defense was good. J.K. Dobbins was a 100-yard rusher. I watch football to escape reality. Every time I turn on the news, it's another terrible thing. And so I go, let me watch my Bengals. They'll make me happy, I say. Are you? But they don't. They do not
I've
make
been
me
there.
happy.
I've fucking been there.
I'm sorry?
Legit, I have said that exact same thing. The world is so terrible. It's always bad news. All I want to do is watch the Lions to escape reality for a little bit.
Oh, you're sorry, are you? No. You don't know what sorry means. You don't know sorry until you turn on the TV and see that Jake Browning is standing in the spot where Joe Burrow would. The fact that Trey Hendrickson is on his last contract with the Bengals and we can't even put together some functioning offense. The fact that Jamar Chase has given up for the past 2 weeks and T. Higgins has wished that he got signed by the Patriots. No, that's truly sorry. Maybe some people are not meant to be happy. So yeah, Broncos win.
That was awesome.
Should we call someone?
Oh, that was awesome. Oh, there's more. He's got a nice little shout out or something.
Hey everyone, Tom Grassi here. Just wanted to say a huge thank you as 4 days ago we hit 900,000 subscribers on this channel. As you know, whether you've been here for a little while or for 10 years, this show and channel is completely and totally free. No sponsors. We stream every single primetime game, playoff game, and Packer game, and there's no mid-roll.
All right, cool. Well, guys, that's going to be it for today. We talked about both Monday night games, what happened in Miami, and then what went down in the Broncos-Cincinnati game. We talked about Aaron Glenn getting a little peeved, starting 0-4, and you can't blame him for that. NFL Power Rankings, where the Detroit Lions land, we are now kind of in the aggregate top 3 at least the top 5, if not top 3 teams in the NFL. We were going to talk about, but I didn't have time to watch Benny Johnson break down the NFL hires satanic cross-dressing anti-American rapper for Super Bowl halftime show. Fans rage, as you can see.
And prove itself to be the wokest sports league in America with the idiotic decision to hire somebody who hates America, hates the Trump administration, campaigned for Kamala Harris, doesn't even sing in English, to be the Super Bowl halftime performer. Someone named Bad Bunny. I don't know what a Bad Bunny is because I'm not a club rat from South Miami, but, apparently Bad Bunny is a thing. What is a Bad Bunny exactly? Bad Bunny is a Spanish language rapper who doesn't even rap in English. He's a Puerto Rican rapper. That means he's an American, by the way. Puerto Rico is part of America. He has an American passport. He's the king of Latin trap. Got it. So what exactly does Bad Bunny do? I'm not cool, so I like just listen to Johnny Cash.
I'm not
That's
cool.
Like it. So what you like? Maybe Bad Bunny has all these bangers out here. You ever heard about? He has a hit song called "Soy Peor." You ever heard of it? No. How about "I Like It" or "Mia"? You ever heard of that? Any of these like favorites? You spin these during Christmas in your household? Anybody like ever heard of anything he's ever done? No. Nobody knows who this is, and well, nobody really cares, except for the NFL.
Fuck yeah, Brent.
Who decided that in this current time
Shout out
period
Brent,
where
dude.
the country
Yeah,
is
preach,
swinging
brother.
wildly
That's
culturally
accurate.
to the center right, wishing to reestablish
Yeah, he is
American
down in Florida,
culture
isn't he?
here, you're going to hire a guy who literally is
Ugh,
on the
Cardi
record
B,
talking about how
gross,
he's not
dude.
going
Look at this
to be
fucking
playing
guy.
any shows in America. I kid you not. The NFL chose Bad Bunny to perform at the Super Bowl, despite the fact that he recently said that he would not perform in the continental United States because he's scared of ICE deporting illegal aliens.
We're performing in the U.S. again. I'm scared that ICE might raid the venue outside my show. And honestly, I can't risk the safety of my fans like that. Mainland America just doesn't feel necessary to me anymore.
Well, then don't come here.
I've already
Stay the fuck
performed
out.
there
Go someplace
plenty
else.
of times.
Go
Fans
away.
in the U.S.
We don't want
have
you.
had lots of chances to see me live. That being said, I still care deeply about my Latino and Puerto Rican fans living in the States. Seeing me perform in Puerto Rico is always an option. That's why in my
Have a good day, Attila.
upcoming
Stay out of trouble,
world
brother. We'll
tour,
catch you tomorrow,
there
man.
are no
Appreciate you
stops
stopping by,
in the
dude.
continental U.S. This isn't about hate. It's about responsibility and respect. I want my Latino and Boricua fans to understand that you're always in my heart. You can come see me in Puerto
Or are you talking
Rico
kick this guy
or
out?
catch me in one of the other countries
bad.
I'm visiting, but I can't, in good conscience,
Oh, what the
keep putting
fuck,
you
dude?
at
What
risk
is this guy?
just to perform in the mainland U.S. I know for a lot of people,
Look, guys, this is a male role model that young boys are supposed to look up to and say, there's a bastion of masculinity.
this feels like a sacrifice.
So-
But I want my stage to be a place of unity. My music
It is a sacrifice because ICE probably would get record deportations at a Bad Bunny show, but nonetheless,
Of course he did.
the NFL has hired someone
yeah.
who
Well, of
doesn't
course he did,
want
dude.
to
I'd have
perform
fucking
in
left
the United
too, man.
States for fear of ICE raids. Now the Super Bowl is going to be in Los Angeles, so I guess there could still be plenty of ICE raids there. But you are performing in America.
Actually, dude, shout out Mr. Detroit City. I was at the dispensary here in town yesterday, and one of the girls that worked there, she's telling me that in 3 weeks she's moving to Pensacola, Florida. Her and her boyfriend, they're sick of winter. They hate the tax rate up here, so they're moving to fucking Pensacola, Florida, dude. And I was like, that's fucking dope. I was like, what are you doing down there? She's like, I got a job at a Chick-fil-A, and we're moving to fucking Pensacola in 3 weeks. Sold all of their shit, and they're moving to Pensacola. I was like, damn. She's like, you'd be surprised. It's really not as expensive. I thought it was going to be way more expensive to live down in Pensacola than it is. And I was like, no shit. She's like, there's a military base there, so it's a lot of I guess she's going to be living like around where the or they got a spot down by like where the Blue Angels are stationed out of or something like that. And I was like, that's fucking dope, dude. Pacolo. I hope the Lions win the Super Bowl. I don't have to see this weird performer. Yeah, dude, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it. Pacolo? Did I say that right, brother? Welcome to the chat, dude. How you doing, man? How you doing? Is it what it means to want hundreds of ICE agents at the Super Bowl event? Dude, I'm hoping that all like Like there's just like you can see them all. That the Super Bowl show is just glowing with all the glowworms, all the feds there, dude. Roger Goodell is working with Trump. It's a pretty big play to get Bad Bunny there to arrest and deport him during the halftime show to prove a point to all the illegals. See, this is what's going to happen, guys. This is what's going to happen because Kash Patel isn't like white. He's like kind of tan. What they're going to do is they're going to tell everybody that Bad Bunny. So who said it? Who originally pointed out that he isn't going to play in the U.S.? One of you guys said that. I'm sorry if I can't remember. But one of you guys said that he said he wasn't going to play in the U.S. and then right before Benny Johnson talked about it. So clearly it's a trap. He said he's not going to. He's not going to. He has no shows scheduled to be in the U.S. So clearly it's a trap, dude. So what's going to happen is halftime show is going to start, and they're going to say it's Bad Bunny out there, right? And it's going to be in a dark, hooded, like, cloak, so you can't see who the individual is coming down from a platform. And then the lights are going to slam on, and it's going to be Kash Patel standing there, and he's just going to go, all of you are arrested and detained. Indians are all black, according to the... Piccolo! Yes, dude. Welcome to the fucking chat. Welcome home, dude. You belong here, dude. You belong here, my guy. That is... Oh, fuck yeah, dude. He says Indians are all black, according to good old Camel Toe Kamala Harris. Yeah, that's right, dude. That is fucking awesome. I don't know if you ever checked out Candace Owens just dismantling Kamala Harris's whole claim to being black, dude. She really dug into the genealogy and shit, and just proved that Kamala Harris is nothing but a lying whore. Goodell goes to shake Bunny's hand. He thinks, and then slaps cuff on his ass. Roger Goodell just rips off his suit, and he's got an ice jacket on. It's like, kabam! Off to alligator Alcatraz you go, Bunny. Oh, that's awesome, guys. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. You guys are fucking funny, dude. I love the chat. All right, guys, we're gonna get up out of here. It's been a long enough show today. We don't need. Well, fuck it.
You are an American, by the way, you prick. Like, you were born in Puerto Rico. You live in Puerto Rico. You live with the lavishes of the American taxpayer. Puerto Rico is utterly a prop up American
hell yeah, Brandy
territory state.
Brandy digging up the alligator fucking
completely off of American
emojis.
welfare
That's
tax
awesome,
dollars
dude.
and military
off alligator
protection.
Alcatraz you go, buddy.
So you ungrateful
Merca
rat doesn't want to perform in America, but claims to love Puerto Rico so much. Dude, you have an American passport. Show me your passport. Is there some type of special Puerto Rican passport? No, you're an American, dude. It's insane. If they were to deport you, they deport you to America, because that's what Puerto Rico is, American territory. He is smart though, because ICE did raid a Gavin Newsom rally in Los Angeles.
That's awesome.
So maybe ICE will raid the Super Bowl. This is footage you can remember this. Gavin Newsom had a miniature rally with 7 people there. And this is...
Yo, are we all low-key hoping that ICE is going to raid the Super Bowl? I think low-key, like most people are like, yeah, fucking get him. It's a trap. Get his ass.
Hysterical that this is the ICE raid of the Gavin Newsom rally. So there is some merit in not wanting to perform in America, because there would be an ICE raid, because that would absolutely happen. Bad Bunny stokes MAGA fury with defiant message after being chosen for the Super Bowl halftime show. I thought you weren't going to perform in America, bro. Wow. You're not going to... Oh, look, there's my tweet. I love when that happens. Bad Bunny was just announced as the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show. Massive Trump hater, anti-ICE activist. No songs in English. And he canceled his entire U.S. tour.
Look at this bastion of masculinity.
ICE would be outside of my concert.
That's what your sons are looking up to.
Yep. True. Proud to be part of this article. Great. This tweet, though, has been seen by 5 million people. It's a banger. Thanks, Daily Mail. Bad Bunny is the Super Bowl halftime show.
It'll keep all the Niners, Raiders, and Cowboys fans from attending the Super Bowl.
This is what a Bad Bunny is. Can I don't listen to this music?
Dude,
the NFL is woke guard.
They'll get the highest. Dude, they're going to get the highest views ever for a halftime show, simply because people are going to be hoping to see a televised ICE raid. It'll be hundreds of millions of eyeballs are just going to be like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? We're all just going to be sitting there waiting, dude. Do you think that Poly Market is going to have a fucking prospective bets market on if ICE is going to raid. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. We're checking Poly Market to see if there's any odds of ICE raids. Nothing so far. I was hoping to see if Polymarket would have the if you could bet on ICE raids happening during the halftime show. If you guys aren't familiar, Polymarket is a non-U.S. based political bet. Well, not just political, but you can literally bet on, U.S. government shutdown in 2025. Yes, no. You can bet. You can actually bet money on all this shit. Will Eric and Adams endorse Cuomo? Will Nike beat quarterly earnings? Will Israel first raid Gaza's aid flotilla? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all these things you can. So I'm going to kind of keep an eye on that to see if that pops up. That would be fucking hilarious, dude. We just walk his ass to the ocean, tell him to swim to Puerto Rico, not coming back, buddy. Just give him a dinghy and tell him he's the reverse Elian Gonzalez. Just tell him he's our Elian Gonzalez. We're going to put him on a dinghy and send him off to Puerto Rico or Cuba, and then he can be the U.S.'s version of Elian Gonzalez. Damn, I can't believe I pulled that name out of my fucking ass. Do you guys remember that story? Holy shit, where did I come up with that out of absolutely nowhere? God damn, that's wild. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and shut this down today. We did the headline news. We talked about power rankings for the NFL and Detroit Lions. Talked about Alim McNeill possibly starting the 21-day return clock from IR. The NFL's been put on notice. Our defensive line is going to eat y'all alive. Let's go. And then we got some good news that Motor City Dan Campbell doesn't think that DJ Reed's hamstring will be a season ender. Hopefully, fingers crossed that is the reality of the situation, because my guy was just starting to turn it on. Was starting to come on fire for the Lions against the Browns. That would have been a massive uptick for us. But, hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not a season ender, and this isn't the injury bug that we dealt with last year. But all things aside, now that we're sitting atop the division, boy, it feels good to be the king, doesn't it? It feels good to be the king. Feels good to be the king. They'll put Bad Bunny's PC'd up with all the chomos. Hell yeah. But Piccolo, am I saying that right, dude? I'm so sorry, dude. I spell phonetically, so I have to sound it out. So if I'm saying it wrong, dude, you got to like tell me how to say it phonetically so that I can properly pronounce it. But if not, hopefully I'm saying it right, brother. Dude, I think it's awesome that you're in here hanging out, dude. Brandy Coffee says, have a good day, Lions fans. You have a good day, sister. You have a good day as well. Thank you for all the hard work that you guys do. And thank all of you in Mad Hatter Nation for sharing, hanging out, voting in the poll. We had a poll up here. Who's getting the number one overall pick? Seems like, the Titans with 36%. You guys really tightened that poll up. I've never seen a poll that tight in the percentages. 32% say Bengals. 36% say Titans. 0% say Texans. Smart move there. And 32% say Jets. Jets. 22 people voted. That's pretty good numbers right there. That is a nice sample size to see where everybody's at. I think we're all kind of in the same boat, understanding that all those teams outside of the Texans are probably going to be sitting at your number one overall selection in this spring's NFL draft. But that's a bridge that we'll cross many moons from now. Guys, it's Tuesday. We're almost to the halfway point of the week. We're getting ready for a big Week 5 matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals. Good news, guys, on the work front. I won the overtime thing, and I didn't even have to show up yesterday to win. They folded like a house of cards. So small victory there. Gonna get a little overtime for your boy. Finally getting paid what we're fucking due. So good news on that. Hopefully you guys have a good day. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, or from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here at youtube.com/The Hat and Beard Show. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Until next time, bonga bonga. Frig off.